All right. Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Tyra Banks Next Top Model documentary that aired on Netflix this week, and it has been a big topic of discussion. Now, as you guys know, or maybe you don't, but every single year there comes a time when people start watching America's Next Top Model, and there's this wave of outrage, and then it dies down. Into the following year, there's this wave of outrage, and then it just is on repeat after repeat after repeat. So right now, after the documentary, there is this wave of all these people outraged, and Tyra is villain number one. There are so many people who are upset with her about the way that the show went on, and they feel as though she did not have accountability. Now, in my opinion is one of the more unpopular opinions. I'm not one of those, oh my God, I cannot stand Tyra. I hope she crashes and burns and all of the things. This is not a Tyra pal-on video. If you guys are looking for somebody to pal on and do the whole, oh my God, Tyra's the villain in everybody's story video, that's not here. There's several bloggers that are pandering to that narrative. However, not me, okay? I'm not one of them people that is gonna hop on the Tyra hate train. Sorry, not sorry. I have my own opinion, and I feel like if we're gonna talk about accountability and things, I feel like everybody needs to be accountable. I felt like when I watched the documentary, it was very one-sided. It was not something that showed the true essence of the show. I think that, I don't know who was the creator of the show. I don't think that I think she probably participated in it, but I don't think that she was the creator, because if she was the creator, then that was silly. Because to me, my opinion of it, it just looked like, okay, let's get a whole bunch of girls who never made it from the show and put them on here to give this sob story about Tyra, and let's pal on. My opinion about the show, I thought that America's Next Top Model was something that I grew up on. I'm a millennial. A lot of people grew up on, and several of us enjoyed the show. To be a person who literally watched the show, aspired to model, and then enjoyed all of the challenges, looked at it and enjoyed the content, and now is acting outraged. It's just not my vibe, not my thing. I'm just not gonna pal on it. I'm not gonna do it. When I watched the documentary, I seen guys who I think a lot of people have parasocial relationships with. I think Manuel had a personality that a lot of people liked. I think the other Jay right here, a lot of people liked his personality. And people had a connection to Nigel Barker as well. So when they are on this video and they're doing this woe is me, oh my God type of thing, because people have a parasocial relationship with them, they are just hopping on the bandwagon. But I'm a person, I see through all of it. I watch the show in real time. I think that Tyra is not the only person to be held accountable. There was a panel of judges. There was a panel of creators that was behind it, and it was not just Tyra. You literally had Jay acting like a victim, Jay Manuel at the top, acting like a victim when he was the creative director behind the photo shoots. He was the creative director behind the show, the challenges, and coming up with some of the things that the girls had to do and endure. So to sit there and try to act like he was the victim of the show when he was a part of creating what the girls went through is crazy to me. Also, Jay Manuel is a person who, somebody said, Neek, I think you purposely choose the opposite of things on purpose. No, that's how I truly feel. I think that y'all think that on everything that you agree with, you think that I'm going to agree with. I don't agree with everything that y'all agree with. I don't purposely take the opposite. There's plenty of stories that I cover that y'all agree with my opinion on it. Okay? If we talking about Jarvis, I think that we can all agree that he's a piece of doo-doo, and everybody agrees with my take on that. You guys agree with my takes on stories until you don't, and then you think that I'm purposely coming up with no, this is how I truly feel. I feel like Jay was a creative director, and he's sitting up there acting like he was some damn victim when he played a role in it. I feel like Tyra gets all of this hate behind her and how she navigated the show when nobody literally ever mentions Janice Dickinson, which was the meanest, worst bitch on the fucking show. Janice Dickinson was very nasty. She came from a very nasty place. She had a very nasty disposition. She said god-awful things to the women. So did this Jay right here. Okay, he said god-awful things to the contestants as well. He mocked them, made funny faces at them, and so did Jay. So if we're going to sit here, I think the only person that I didn't see like really just obliterating the girls was Nigel. But if we're going to sit here and talk about accountability, then I think everybody needs to be held accountable. You guys are sitting up here acting like it was only Tyra because she was the head of the show, but she was not the person who put every single thing together. There was an entire team behind the show. There was creatives that were a part of the show, like Jay Manuel, who was a creative director, and so on and so forth. And I feel like a lot of people are forgetting that although there was things that happened back in the day that now today probably wouldn't slide, you also you can't not factor in the time. Back at that time, The Real World was one of the biggest shows on MTV, right? Before even Top Model, everybody wanted to be on The Real World. We've seen these people, and this is when, even though like every single reality show is produced, this is when reality felt like reality, okay? The Real World would literally follow people in the house. They would get drunk, they would get lit, they would hook up, they would do all of these things, and we would watch it with our popcorns out watching the show. America's Next Top Model was a model show where it was a competition, and they mirrored some of the behind the scenes stuff like a Real World. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh my God, they documented everything that was going on, when that's what reality was. You documented the good times, the bad times, and the ugly. Like, that's what sold people on reality TV, because they got to see every single nitty gritty juicy part. We were all in front of our TVs waiting for the tea. But now everybody is so, oh my God, how dare she show girls being catty with one another? How dare this girl make a comment to that girl, when that's what bitches do in real life? Like, that's what people do in real life. And then a lot of people are feeling so sorry for Jay. And I feel like it is unfortunate to have a stroke and be in the hospital for a year and a half and not be able to walk. I think that nobody would want to go through that. I wouldn't want to go through that. I don't wish that on anybody. I think that that's horrible. But let's not sit here and act like these people had the best relation. Like, I don't give a damn what they're sitting up in here trying to save face and say. Jay Manuel made a whole book dissing Tyra. But these same people are sitting up here acting like she deserves to call them and kumbaya with them, when no. Jay Manuel I think Jay Alexander, even though like in the documentary they have right after they got fired, right? There was an interview that they did on a broadcast, and Jay Manuel did like a politically correct answer, but Jay Alexander, his answer was about Tyra. It was like when they was asking him about Tyra, he was like, he did a lot of facial expressions on camera, but we gonna sit here and act like those facial expressions behind the scenes wasn't giving it up. Like, please, y'all sitting up in here acting like you can't read between the lines that they don't really fuck with her like that, and she didn't really mess with them like that. So to have these unrealistic expectations because you have a parasocial relationship with these people, I think it's silly. Jay was sitting there like, she hasn't, not yet. She hasn't visited me, not yet. And then Jay Manuel, he's like, like I can't. Let me see what the down the rabbit hole says. I agree, Neek. It's not just Tyra. All these grown judges with Janice too. They wanted to check and did nothing when they saw all of it. They co-signed. Exactly. Exactly. Somebody said, I think people are upset because Tyra was extremely non-personal during the interview. I mean, she didn't want to talk about certain things. I don't feel like she had to. That's just my opinion. So if you look up, okay, let me look this up real quick for y'all. All right. So Jay Manuel, he made a book, right? And his book was titled The Wig, The Bitch, and The Meltdown. Okay? And he basically dragged Tyra in his book. He dragged Tyra in his book, and he didn't name her, but he basically dragged her in the book, called her a narcissist, called her all of these things. It was him basically going over his time on Top Model, and he's claiming like, oh, I was uncomfortable objecting to Tyra, and like dude, you are a grown man. You are a grown man. Hold on, let me pull up this but right, supposedly fiction, nonfiction, but we know who you talking about. We know who you talking about. Save it. Save the fiction, nonfiction baloney to somebody who cares, because we know who you talking about. And to I'm just one of those type of people. If that's how you feel, stand on it. Stand on it. Stand on it. Like, why are we sitting here acting like? Hold on, let me see. All right, so it says, hold on. Anyways, I can't find the website that I had pulled up earlier. But somebody said she's a full-blown narcissist. What made her a full-blown narcissist? I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I just want you to not just repeat what you heard and explain. But anyways, so other than them, I felt like they were totally disingenuous about their role in things. And I feel like a balanced documentary would have been showing the people who made it and were successful and the people who didn't make it. I feel like there should be a balance and a nuance to any story that you do a full in-depth video on. The only people that participated in the documentary were people who did not make it. There was not one person in the documentary who had a story about how they got on Top Model and they accelerated their life. It was all, I didn't make it. I'm upset that I didn't get a participation trophy, and woe is me, it didn't work out. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but when the show was advertised, it was never advertised as we're going to select a final 12 girls and they're all going to win and they're all going to make it. It was always a competition. And it was always going to be one winner per season. Everybody wasn't going to make it. And everybody is sitting here crying about, oh my God, look at these girls. They went on Top Model and they didn't make it. Everybody wasn't going to make it. But there are people who were not even winners of the show who gained success. Yaya DaCosta did not win from my recollection. It was her and Eva, I think, on the season. Yaya is an actor now. She had became successful. She had a full-on modeling career. Winnie Harlow, who was the girl with vitiligo, she got a successful career outside of Top Model. And she was not a winner of the show. There were several people who didn't even win, but they went on to have modeling careers. They went on to get a lot of recognition. They went on to be able to use Top Model as a stepping stone and so much more. Like, if we're going to have a well-rounded documentary, why are we only showing everybody who didn't make it? Everybody wasn't going to make it. Everybody wasn't going to make it. They just, and it's like, you guys are acting like y'all wanted Tyra to give all of these girls a pacifier for not making it. It's up to you how you pivot and how you hustle. I'm a person who, I've grew up in California my entire life. Born and raised in California. I've always aspired to be a model my whole life. When I was young, I showed you guys pictures of me when I had did a pageant when I was like 5 years old. My mom put me in pageants. My mom took me on auditions when I was growing up. When I was in my early 20s, I did music videos. I did different stuff in the industry. And there was stuff that, was fucked up. There was a lot of colorism. There's extreme colorism all throughout the industry. But I believe that Tyra was a person who, although she can't change the industry, she put a lot of representation of Black girls on the show. Takara is another one that y'all mentioned in the chat who, she was a host on BET. She had a very successful career. She's still successful today, and she was not a winner of the show. They had nobody who had success on the show at all. Let me see the super chat. Somebody sent in a super chat. Let's see what this says. Hold on one second. You send Princess sends in $4.99, and she says, "You and Lovely T clearly have different opinions on this. She's on live too. Love Tyra growing up, but she was definitely a B. You always want to be opposite." So I don't need to be opposite of anybody. Lovely T is on live right now, which we are two different bloggers. We have two different opinions, but I went live about this in the early morning. Okay. So if you need me to pull up my live when I spoke about my feelings about this before, I guess Lovely T's currently live right now, I gave my opinion this morning. I didn't go into detail because I said, hey, I'm going to talk about this later. But if you think that my opinion is solely opposite, because I don't even know what Lovely T's take is, but if you think that my opinion derives because I just want to be opposite of somebody, then you're wrong. Okay, like, I'm so sick of y'all always trying to put bloggers against each other just because we don't think the same, or run with the same narrative. I don't think, me and her are two different people. We grew up two different lives. We grew up in two different states. We have two totally different backgrounds. How she sees the world is not how I see it. I was an actual model. I was casted in music videos. I was casted in modeling projects. I was doing things that was a part of the industry. So my take is not going to always be the same as other bloggers. Kudos to her. She's an amazing blogger. She has a tremendous platform over there, but we're not going to always think alike. But I get so tired of y'all always trying to pin YouTubers together, against each other, because people have differences of opinions. And again, I don't even know what her opinion is, but just while we're live, just to clear it up, hold on. Let me show you this really quickly. Quickly, let's gather this quickly. All right, so my video. I want to know from. All right, so this was, I streamed 9 hours ago. Has Lovely T been on live for 9 hours? Let me know quickly. But let me pull up my, just because you know how bitches try to start shit between creators and start to try to be messy. Let's be very clear that my opinion is my own, okay? So hold on, let me go off of here really quickly. Just, you always gotta clock a bitch real quick when she's trying to be messy. But this is my second channel. This was streamed 9 hours ago. Do you see that? Messy bitch that's telling me somebody else is live. Do you see this says stream 9 hours ago? Now, if I go to Lovely T's page, has she been on stream for 9 hours, or did her stream start 9 hours ago? I don't know, but you let me know. I don't think so, but let's
from y'all. How many of y'all like got a juicer and like juice and stuff like that? What combinations do you guys do? Let me know. I want to try different.
All right, so this is my live. Let me go to when I was talking about
Are they? But I also feel like being like where I live, I feel like or mild mozzarella.
Hold on.
So there's a lot of people who have juicing recipes. This wasn't America's participation. Of gorgeous dark-skinned women, and if it just had, because you know how those shows go where they gotta have like the token dark-skinned girl. I just did.
All right, so this is my live. 10 minutes into my live, it was this morning when I went live. It was early in the morning. I talked about America's Next Top Model.
Like her features, her look, I don't know. I didn't see it for her. I don't know. Like there's there are so many girls that, and it was just like, she was kind of like bitter that she didn't make it, and she was just like, but I'm just like, I didn't see it for her neither. And so I don't know. It was a lot of different, and my thing too is like, I didn't like, and maybe I'll save some of my opinions for my video when I'll do a video later. But it just felt like a whole bunch of woe is me, and I don't know. We'll get into it, but I watched the documentary, and I just don't agree with a mass amount of people's opinions about it. I just don't this wasn't America's participation trophy. It wasn't America's you participate and then like you're gonna be successful. Like, I just, you said drop the pastor video first. All right. I definitely need to do that video as well. The pastor, the TD McNutt, the boy, he was removed from the home. But then even with the TD McNutt, but I was like,
anyways, so throughout here, I end up talking about it again, but you can go on my second channel. I'm going to be streaming more on my second channel. But this was streamed on my second channel, niquelaclaire. As you can see, I got 17,000 subscribers over there, baby. The title is Child, My Mom Is So Funny, She Called Me Cutting Up. We talked about this 9 hours ago. So definitely check it out. We talked about TD McNutt. We talked about America's Next Top Model. We talked about different things this morning. So definitely check it out. And again, I hate when y'all do that, but child, it's very aggravating. But we have time today, okay? We have time. You said that's a name I haven't seen in a minute. Child, we have time. So anyways, back to what I was saying. So now let's get into the different people who had woe is me stories on the show, right? So the girl, so they showed, so the first episode of America's Next Top Model, they showed a girl by the name of Ebony. And Ebony got eliminated off of the show. She was a lesbian from New York. She was a Black woman who had Afrocentric features, and she was eliminated off of the show. But a big part of her being on the show, and let me see if I could pull up her picture real quick. Somebody said it's giving troll. Child, it's giving, each YouTuber has fans or whatever. So it's given, I'm a fan of a particular person, and whatever they say is Bible, and whatever anybody else says, it has to mirror that. That's just what it's given to me. But let me, which is fine. It's just not, I think for myself. First season. Hold on, let me get her picture. So this is the girl that was on season 1 America's Next Top Model. And let me pull up her picture. Let me pull up her picture. I should have already had her picture up, but child, we're gonna go through it. We are going to go. All right. So this is how she presented, I guess, on the show. This is the girl Ebony who was on cycle 1. A big part of her storyline was the simple fact that she was, like I said, she was a lesbian. She was from New York. She was a dark-skinned woman, And according to Tyra, she liked her look. Okay. Now, I'm a dark-skinned woman. A lot of people try to argue about what color I am. I'm under lights, but I am a dark-skinned woman. I've been a dark-skinned woman my entire life. I identify as dark-skinned. A lot of people try to play semantics about like, oh, well, you're not this dark or you're not that shade of dark. I'm dark-skinned. I've always been told I was dark-skinned. If you darker than a paper bag, your skin is a certain hue and below you dark. So I've always been dark. She herself as well is dark. Okay. And I think that with all of these shows, they always have to have a token like dark skinned girl or whatever. Like they have to have somebody to represent the black girl as, you know, a dark skinned girl. And I think that we live in a society to where, because there's so much colorism, anytime you have criticism of a dark-skinned woman, or like people have this phony like they thing where they feel like if you critique a dark-skinned woman, then it's colorism for everything. You know what I mean? And I think that them making the narrative of her being ashy, I feel like that was foul. But when it came to like her, when she was like modeling her pictures, I didn't see it for her. I felt like there was a bunch of different girls, like a girl, like obviously Lupita is Lupita or whatever, but to me, Lupita is so gorgeous. You know what I mean? And when I think of a model, I think of somebody with like certain features. Could she be a model? Absolutely. She was on America's Next Top Model, but I didn't see it for her as being like the winner or whatever. And there was always going to be somebody that was gonna get cut. I just feel like some of her storyline to me wasn't really that relevant to the documentary. To me, I felt like I would have wanted to hear from other models who really had like a riveting storyline or something like that. Like I know Yaya is like friend, like she kind of don't F with Tyra, but I would have even wanted to hear from like Yaya or like, you know, different people who I feel like had more of like a relevance. I don't know. I just didn't feel like, I don't know. Like to me, her photos weren't really good. It wasn't really given to me, but that's my opinion. To me, you know, she just, and this is how she looks today. Okay, so this was her on the documentary. And she was basically upset that she didn't make it in the industry. She didn't become a model afterwards. And she wasn't like super successful. They called her ashy on the show, which, I mean, that was jacked up. Like, as a black woman, Tyra, like, girl, you know we need lotion, da 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 da. You know what that gives. But her storyline, to me, I felt like, I don't know. I didn't really see it for her. I felt like there was other girls that could have been casted and really slayed it. My opinion, yours may be different. You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And some people think that she's absolutely gorgeous, which you're entitled to. Not my opinion, though. Just wasn't. So then we have Shandi. So Shandi is a person who a lot of people are having this huge hate for Tyra about, okay? So Shandi was a white girl who came on the show, and she was in a relationship at the time that she came on the show. When she came on the show, again, this was at a time where America's Next Top Model had that reality type Real World meets America's Next Top Model type thing. Now, a lot of people are upset and they feel as though Tyra, who was not even there at the time, is responsible for what happened with Shandi. I myself personally don't agree. I feel like there's a lot of people who are looking at the situation with Shandi and they're saying that she was essayed. Again, I don't agree. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. When it comes to essay, there is a lot of sensitivity around that. And a lot of people, you know, because they were violated as a child or a family member molested them or, certain things, everything that has a sexual nature and a girl says that she didn't like something about it, they immediately put it in the essay category. Me personally, I look at situations case by case basis. Now, in the raw, unedited film, if there is any point in the unedited film that she looks as if she was not consenting, then my opinion will change. However, a lot of people are saying that because she slept with a guy after consuming alcohol on national TV, that she was essayed. And I don't agree with that. Some people say, I felt bad for her on the show, but now it's a bit much. Another person says, Neek, the filming and releasing of the footage on TV was unnecessary. Was it though? A part of me feels like I can see where this is a model competition and her hooking up with a guy may not have needed to be aired, but a part of me also understands that Tyra and the team were trying to mirror reality. I mean, Real World meets America's Next Top Model and blend the two. Whenever you watched The Real World, there was hookups on the show. So to see a model competition show that is trying to have the reality and show you the reality, there's hookups in real life. So a part of me is like, maybe should they have released it? I'm 50-50 on it. But another part of me is like, well, at the time, that's what they were going for. They were going for the real, the raw, and the uncut, and that's what gravitated everybody to the show. So basically, if you guys have not watched the documentary or you don't remember her, let me pull up another picture, and maybe you'll remember her from this picture. So this is what she looked like on the show. Okay. So this is what she looked like on the show. So basically what happened was, Shandi was a model on the show. She had just made top 5 of the girls on the show. And so they were celebrating that, now we're down to 5 girls. We're turning up. We just did a photo shoot, and they had a photo shoot with men. On the photo shoot with the men, they felt like, hey, we made it so far in the competition. Let's celebrate and let's have the men come back to the house. They have the men come back to the house. They're all drinking, okay? She's drinking, the guy's drinking, they're in the hot tub, they're turning up, and the whole time she has a boyfriend, okay? So she has a boyfriend, and despite her having a boyfriend, she's cozying up with this guy, right? So So she's cozying up with him. She's lit. He's lit. They having fun. They turning up. They in the hot tub. She's on his lap in the hot tub. You know, they are like making out in the hot tub. And then they go into the shower and they turning up in the shower. And then after they are turning up in the shower, then they make it to the bed and they're in the bed. They screw in the bed. Now, because she says on the documentary that she consumed 2 bottles of alcohol, people feel as though she was not able to consent to having hanky panky. Okay? I feel as though if we make it a thing to where all you have to do is drink alcohol and say, listen, I drank alcohol and now that I drank alcohol, I'm going to say I'm drunk. So now I could not be accountable. To me, looking at the footage, she was drunk, he was drunk, and to me, based on what I see, now, if there is footage of her at any moment not consenting or her appearing non-consensual, then my opinion will change, okay? I was going back and forth with a girl early today, and I'll pull up the messages on the neighborhood talk. They were like, oh my God, women like you are so insufferable. If they put out the footage, okay, and the footage shows that she was taken advantage of, my opinion will change. However, as far as what I saw, and I can only go off of what I saw, to me, it looked consensual. Now, to her, she feels like, she feels like production should have stopped it, okay? She feels like she had 2 bottles of wine and, she regretted it. And, had she not drunk the wine, she wouldn't have did it. There were people also arguing with me, and they were saying that if you have sex with a guy when you drink alcohol and you would not have had sex with him if you were sober, then that's sexual assault. And to me, I feel like that's a very slippery slope, and that's a very dangerous precedent to set. I think that if you are going to drink alcohol and a person did not drug you, I feel like you are accountable for your actions. Now, if you are blackout drunk to where you are, like you got to be carried, or you can't walk on your own, or you can't, you know what I mean? Like if you are truly blackout drunk and you're like this and somebody's on top of you and they're like taking advantage of you, then yeah, hell yeah, I would feel like, clearly she's not consenting or whatever. But if you are a person and he's drinking, you're on his lap, you're all over him, you're kissing him, you're in the jacuzzi, you're making out with him, you in the hot tub, you in the bathtub, and then when you wake up, you realize, oh shit, I have a boyfriend, and now it's now we're saying that sexual assault. I feel like that's a very slippery slope and a very dangerous precedent to push. Now, had this been a situation to where she was drunk, she was not over him, she wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, she was clearly, and again, the footage that we did not see, maybe that shows it. Maybe that shows it. But I don't see that. So I can only go off of what I did see. To me, in my opinion, just because you drink and have sex with somebody and you make a bad decision, that doesn't equate to sexual assault. To me, in my opinion. Will women want to cancel me or unfollow. Hey, do what you do. I just feel like I don't have the same opinion as it pertains to that scenario. You know, I feel like, was it embarrassing? Absolutely. You know, she had a boyfriend. Her boyfriend finds out on the show that she's cheated on her man. Now he feeling some type of way. Like, is that embarrassing? Yes, it's embarrassing. But to flip it and turn around and now we're mad at Tyra, who was not even there because of it. I feel like that's a bit disingenuous, and I feel like that's just you. If you don't like Tyra and you feel like she yelled at the girls, okay, cool. You feel like you don't like her because she made the girls put on blackface, okay, cool. But to try to blame her for a situation that she was not present at, for a woman who I just can't, like, I can't get there with y'all on that. Now, again, if there is a lawsuit and she basically has a discovery phase where they put out the full footage, and then, you know, I see like, okay, well, clearly, you know, she wasn't then I'll change my mind. But based on what I saw, I'm not going to run with that she was SA narrative. That's my opinion. You have yours. And somebody in the chat said Tyra was executive producer. She could have edited it out. Again, you have to understand this was over 20 years ago. The Real World, they was getting it in on us on the thing. That was the TV. Like that was a part of the real, the raw, the what you call it? I think that the show was very responsible in taking her to get tested. I think that the show was very responsible for you know, taking her to the doctor, making sure she gets tested. Right, she wasn't even the editor or the final say. She had bosses, but I think that to put all of that on Tyra, when are we holding the same pitchforks for the Real World? I remember so many times like, ooh, the Real World is juicy. They over here hooking up. The people, you know, even on Jersey Shore. Y'all love the Jersey Shore. They getting drunk with girls, hooking up with girls. They bringing gym, tan, laundry, bringing girls back to the house after they meet them at the club, hooking up with them. Like, are we keeping this same energy all throughout? And also, too, everybody who is so mad at Tyra and they're making her this villain, the ultimate villain. I want to know, do you have a Zeus account? Are you an avid watcher of baddies? And are you participating in trash TV? Because if you are a person who is sitting up here watching baddies every week and watching these girls beat the pulp out of each other, beat the living stew out of each other on camera, and signing up for however much Zeus costs. I've never had a Zeus account. I don't watch the show. Only thing I see from Zeus is the clips that come on my feed. Okay? That's a good point as well. Let me see. Let me put this up here. My thing when it comes to stuff like this is people don't have the same energy all around the board. They don't. I kid you not, most of the people who are doing these think pieces and, oh my God, I can't stand Tyra, I guarantee you look on their phone, They done watched every Baddies episode. They done contributed to the most trashiest of TVs. Most of them is Krishan stans, okay? And they have this morality thing that is, you know, it's like, are we sitting here standing on morals, or are we picking and choosing? Right, even the Drewski dating show where women are fighting each other, right? Are we picking and choosing, or are we gonna hold everybody accountable? Now, if we gonna hold everybody accountable, then let's hold everybody accountable. If we gonna hold Tyra accountable, we gonna hold Miss J accountable. We're gonna hold J Manuel accountable. We're gonna hold everybody who participated. Now, J Manuel, there was a black woman on the show. Hold on. J Manuel, okay, all the way over there. Everybody's like, oh my God, Tyra. But again, J Manuel, there was a girl, and I felt like her portion of the show was valid, right? She in real time spoke up for herself. And she said, hey, there's this male model. He's like trying to like make moaning sounds. He is making me feel uncomfortable. And she literally tells the set, she tells Jay Manuel and Nigel and all of them, and she's like, hey, they're making this guy, this African guy, he's like literally moaning and like making me feel uncomfortable, and he's like touching me, and I feel uncomfortable. And Jay Manuel is like, oh well, like suck it up, buttercup. So all of them contributed. That was literally the only person who I looked at and I was like, damn, that's fucked up. Like, I looked at that portion and I was like, that's jacked up. That's jacked up that they literally looking at her be uncomfortable, not consenting to this, not like, okay, like none of that. And they're like, Jay, Mr. Victim, is sitting there talking about suck it up, buttercup. And that's not what he said, but that's basically the energy that he gave. Like, oh well, like, oh well, you got a job to do, you know? And that's the energy that they all had on all the photo shoots. On all the photo shoots, they were like that. All of them. All of them were like that. Like, if a girl had a fear and she's freaking out because she has a fear of spiders or whatever, like me, I don't do bugs. I don't do lizards. I don't do none of that crap. Okay? I don't go around with no lizards. If they would have had me over there and they would have pulled out a lizard and I would have had to touch the lizard, and then they would have been like, oh well, suck it up, buttercup. You got me messed up. I'm not doing it. But their whole thing was, no matter how uncomfortable you were, bitch, you better give it up or get lost. Okay. Yes, Eva was definitely very beautiful with the spider. And I feel like, too, there are certain people who gonna make it regardless. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain people who just have it and certain people that don't. I'm gonna tell y'all about, like, okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about me, right? So I'm young, early 20s. I'm over here. I wanted to be a VJ, like America's Next Top Model. I mean, not like America's Next Top Model. I did want to be on America's Next Top Model. I thought that was super dope. And I love the fact that she created a lane for so many different diverse groups of girls to have recognition. I think that she was very pivotal in that. But outside of that, I really adored Free and AJ. I wanted to be a video jockey like MTV, TRL, Ananda Lewis, you know, the VJs that basically did the countdown shows. I always wanted to be that. So I started my YouTube channel in 2008, and I would do commentary similar to kind of like that, right? And it's documented on my other channel of me basically, you know, back in 2008 doing commentary videos and wanting that. But I decided to get out in the field, right? So I was very popular on MySpace, and I remember, and I don't really talk about like which celebrity, like I don't really like to like name celebrities that I've like had dealings with personally, but I'll tell y'all, like I was on MySpace, I got a DM from a celebrity, right? And I got invited to a video shoot. The video shoot turned out to be it was Sean Kingston's video shoot for Beautiful Girls. I went to the set of Beautiful Girls, and when I went to the set of Beautiful Girls, I seen all of these people, and the producers, they kept coming up to me like, okay, go, you know, like trying to put me in the shots. But I was like, I'm just here. I was invited, you know, I'm not like in the video. But while I was there, I talked to every single model that was there, right? Well, not every single one, but a good portion of them. And I remember there was this guy named Bryce. And I talked to Bryce, and we became cool down the line. And I was like, how did you get casted for this video, right? And so he told me, he was like, oh, you know, there's this site called LA Casting. You put your, you know, your portfolio photos up there, and they select, they have like these job submissions, and you can submit yourself for the jobs, and then that's how you could get booked, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, LA Casting, submit your pictures, have headshots, got it. You know, you just have to be a person to seize opportunities. So although I was there as a guest, I was still like networking. I was big on trying to network and, you know, make my own little way or whatever like that. So I was on set. I was, you know, meeting all the different people, talking to different people or whatever. And I remember signing up for LA Casting. They had a casting for Telephone music video for Lady Gaga featuring Beyonce, Telephone. So at the time, I'm working at Radio Shack, and I see the casting. I like have my headshots or whatever, and I submit myself for, I'm just like, I'm gonna just, you know, submit myself. I'm not thinking they actually gonna pick me. So I go to the casting, and everybody who's like the who's who was there. I remember going to the casting, and at the time, this was before Joy Chavez had her baby by Bow Wow and all that. She was at the casting. She had just got her boobs done. And it was so many different like video girls and different like industry girls that I knew. And I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, oh my, like, you know, like I had boobs, and, you know, I had natural nice boobs, but I'm like, you know, Joy, she just got fresh titties, and, you know, there's this different video girl and that different video girl. And a lot of these girls did not get casted in the video, right? But I remember I was at work and I was just checking my email, and I randomly checked my email, and I got a email from the production of Lady Gaga featuring Beyonce Telephone music video production team telling me that they casted me for the video and cannot be on set the next day. So I remember going to my manager. I was the assistant manager, and then I had went to like the main manager, and I was like, hey, you know, I need to get tomorrow off. And then he was telling me some story about, oh, you know, we don't have any coverage tomorrow. You can't get the day off. And I basically told him, listen, either you give me the day off or you don't, but I'm not coming to work tomorrow. Period. You know, I'm not coming to work tomorrow. Period. And so he was like, all right. He was like, I'll open and I'll close. So I was able to get the day off because either way, whether you tell me I can go or I can't go, I'm going and I'm not coming. Like, it is what it is. I'm not missing out on this opportunity. So I go and I go to the set. I shoot the video. It was like, you know, Tyrese was there, Lunel, Lady Gaga, Beyonce. They had like Lorianne Gibson was on set. There was so many people on set, and I remember just trying to like network as much as I could and talk to people as much as I could. And so from there, like each opportunity that I got to be like on a set, I would network. So then I would ask the girls like, you know, how do you get connected with this casting director, that casting director? So there was like two main like hot casting directors that would cast most of the music videos. And if you were cool with those particular casting directors, you pretty much was like a shoe-in to be in the videos. That's why you would always see a lot of the same girls in music videos, because they all were like casted by the same casting directors. So I remember I'm over here, you know, I'm climbing up, you know, like my networking, right? Like I'm going to mansion parties. There was celebrity mansion parties. I'm, you know, dating celebrities. I'm, you know, in these industry circles and all of this stuff. And I remember there was this big casting director, and every girl wanted to work with him because he would get a lot of the videos. And so I remember I felt like, okay, I made it because he like wanted me to like come out. He was having it was like a mixer or whatever. He was telling me how beautiful I was and how, you know, he's going to put me in these music videos. And mind you, I got music videos outside of that. Like there would be different casting directors, but there was like the hottest ones would be like this, like these one or two casting directors. So one of the guys, I remember he invited me to this mixer, right? And he had all of the plugs, like the plug for all the shit, right? So I go to the Hollywood Hills. He invites me to this mixer. Has all of these different models, and he's like acting like he has like this liking to me, right? And I'm feeling like, yeah, like, you know, I'm doing a damn thing. So we at the mixer, and then he like guides me to his room, and he like tries to like make an advance. At that point, I'm like, I'm not gonna be one of the girls that fuck her way to the top. I'm just not doing it. And so, you know, I made the choice that I wasn't gonna sleep with him. I'm not sleeping with you to be in a music video. Okay. And I say all that to say that, you know, there's gonna be certain opportunities that what's for you is for you. And then there's gonna be certain things in the industry to where shit that ain't, you know, ain't always gonna be fair. And I don't feel like that's right to have to sleep with girls. Like none of that was cool. But I say that to say that there are certain things that no matter how much you want something, you have to sometimes stand on your morals. Okay? You have to stand on your morals and say no. I said no. Like I right hand to the Bible, like literally was in the nigga face trying to make an advance. This is one of the hottest producers, you know, and a lot of the girls who were in these videos was sleeping with him to get that. I would not do it. If you talk to people who know me for real, they will vouch and tell you how I was stepping in Hollywood. Like, I'm not about to be an industry pass around. I was very, 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 very clear. Even though I dated some celebrities, like I was young and dating, but I was very adamant about not being an industry pass around, and I was very adamant about not compromising my morals. So I say all that to say, even though these girls were on top model and even though they wanted to be a model, they have some accountability in saying no. I was very young and I was in front of the hottest the hottest casting director, and I was like, no. And everybody don't have the same willpower. Everybody's not, every situation is not the same. And I'm not going to act like certain people don't have influence and da-da-da-da-da. But some of the situations for top model, they didn't have to agree, or, you know what I mean? I don't know if that came out, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm trying to say, right? And so from there, I just had to pivot. I had to pivot and work with other casting directors. I had to pivot and, go after different things, but it's not always going to pan out exactly how you expect it to. It's not always going to be a peachy thing. And even though, yes, everybody wants to be the top model, the winner, the there's some choices that we have in things as well. So I don't know if any of that makes sense. Hopefully you guys understood what I'm saying. I'm just going off of the top of my head, but there were certain things where they were promised a head start in modeling, but obviously that wasn't true. They didn't even give out prizes that were promised. What where do you guys not understand about the exposure? Like, what do you mean they were promised a head start? Hold on. Let me make sure I put this on the screen. Let me put this on the screen, right? They were promised a head start in modeling, but obviously that wasn't true. So you don't think that a person doesn't have the they had exposure, they had a platform, they had opportunities, but because they didn't become a global superstar, that's what we're basing it off of. Because I seen the girl, okay, so I think, a lot of people connected with, there was one of the winners of America's Next Top Model. She was a black girl. I forget her name right now, but she was somebody said right, and they didn't even get paid. Most competition shows, you don't get paid. Do you think that the people who are on America's Next Top Model, not America's Next Top Model, Project Runway, Fear Factor, what else competition show? I had a really good friend that was on Project Runway. They don't get paid. You get exposure. A lot of these shows are structured that way. You don't get paid. You get exposure. and you get to utilize the exposure to go off. Now, what I was saying was there was a girl, I forget her name, but she won um the show, and afterwards she didn't get like this supermodel career or whatever. What was her name? Uh, Danielle Evans. Hold on, let me see if this is her. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, her. Danielle Evans is who I'm talking about. So this is her on the show. So this is who I'm talking about right here. And I think this is who the person in the comments was talking about. Danielle Evans won season. What season was she on? I don't know what season she's on, but let's have the talk, okay? Because child, let's talk about it. Now, unlike how I feel about the Ebony girl, I think that Danielle is gorgeous. Beautiful. Beautiful girl. I think that she's stunning both ways, with the gap, without the gap. I think that she was beautiful, right? However, when you think about beauty standards for the industry, right? Now, Tyra Banks was trying to change the landscape of what the beauty standards were on America's Next Top Model, and she told these girls, hey, you know, we're going to give you a contract. We're going to give you this $100,000, right? I think that it's unfortunate that Danielle did not go to superstardom, but you also have to realize that she's going into the real world. The real world is very colorist, very anti-black, and the girls that make it through are anomalies, okay? So although I think that it is unfortunate that, you know, even though she won top model and she was a gorgeous girl, like I think she's so gorgeous, you have to also put in perspective of the real world, okay? The real world in the modeling industry is very anti-black. At that time of her winning season 6, they were still propping up white girls. Okay? Eva was gorgeous, but she was a unique, like Eva Pigford. Hold on, let me put up Eva Pigford. Eva, it done flipped the picture. But anyway, oh, there we go. Eva Pigford, right? She was a black girl. She had green eyes. She was, even though she was a darker hue, she was ambiguous in her look. And her look was like not the average black girl, right? Danielle is a beautiful girl. I think that she is beautiful, right? But she looks like, how can I say? She doesn't look like, I don't know, Eva. She don't look like an Eva. Like Eva has that unique, like, you don't see her look everyday type. If you get what I'm saying. Like she has, right, that's the word, of exotic. She has a very exotic look. She had like this force to her. You know what I mean? Like she had, like when she took a picture, she was very photogenic. Like she had a certain look that was different. It wasn't the same type of look. So I can see why a girl like Eva, being the winner, excelled, because she had a fierce, exotic, different look. She had European features. She had, you know, she had like this like undeniable walk. And Danielle, I'm not like, she's not an ugly girl at all. Like she's pretty as hell. You know what I mean? She's a pretty girl. Like she is pretty. But her look, like, you know what I mean? Like I can name like a bunch of girls. Like I feel like her look, not saying that I'm not, you know, exotic or whatever, but Danielle's look was more, you know, like a everyday black girl. You get what I'm saying? Eva was like, every time she giving it up, like every single time. When you looked at Danielle was a pretty girl, but her pictures, all her pictures wasn't like, you know what I mean? They wasn't landing. Like she wasn't like eating, you know? Girl Next Door, I think, is right, and one had star power. So although it's jacked up that she didn't excel, and she was promised, you know, to be like this girl, I can understand why it didn't happen like that, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You said, but what did Eva do in the modeling world? She was a crossover to actress. She was Eva was a model for a good amount of time. She was a cover girl. She had ads in the magazines. Like, what do you mean? What did Eva do in the modeling world? Girl, is you cool? Eva crossed on to reality TV and acting later, but Eva was booked and busy for some time. Like, you would always see Eva, like, girl, what? Girl, what? But right, BC says, I think the goal was to have a career and she made one. Right. Um, yeah. hmm So, what else did they go over in the documentary that I wanted to talk about? And what do y'all think? What do y'all think? You know, again, I feel like, were there things that Tyra could have handled different in some aspects? Yeah. I feel like there's stuff that we all could do in life that we could have handled it differently. If I was to go back when I was in my early 20s, there's a lot of things that at the time I could have handled different. Same with Tyra. There were certain things on the show that could have been handled different, but I just don't think that she's the villain that y'all making her out to be, when there was a complete panel. There was industry executives. There were network executives that there was, you know, and just because you're the executive producer of a show does not mean that you really have a say-so like that. I think that y'all have to understand too that some of these titles be just that, a title. There are so many people who have EP credits, but really don't have control of a damn thing, for real. So when you put that all into perspective, I feel like if we're going to hold people accountable, I'm not just going to hop on the Tyra hate train. We're going to throw darts at Janice. We're going to throw darts at Miss J. We're going to throw darts at J. Manuel. And the only one who, even though, you know, he contributed and stuff, I just don't remember Nigel being like super nasty to the girls. I just don't remember that. But if I re-look at it, maybe. But I didn't really see Nigel being like really mean, but I just don't agree with Miss J, in this sympathy train that y'all have. Now, again, having a stroke is horrible. I feel like that's horrible. I don't wish that on him. I wish that he can walk and be, you know, the fierce J that he was. But somebody who gets fired from a show, and I'm not the one that fired you, but you got all the smoke for me, I'm not about to turn around and be chummy kissing your ass. I'm just not. I'm just not. You said Jay confirmed that Tyra had creative control on the show. Okay. But was she the only person creating ideas on the show? Jay Manuel was the creative director until that 1 year where he said he wanted to quit, and then they kept him on a year. Then he said he wasn't the creative director. They were all contributing to pushing the envelope. And again, a lot of people are like, oh my God, they had to do these certain things in the challenges. If they brought them girls and did an old rinky-dink photo shoot and there wasn't no like push, you guys would not have watched. Like, all the people that are crying about the photo shoots, that's the reason why y'all watched the damn show. Like, you wanted to see, well, me at least, I wanted to see like what kind of crazy photo shoot are they gonna do now. Like, that was like the lure of it. Like, what are they gonna be on a safari, or, you know, are they gonna, like, what wacky thing are they gonna have them? Like, that was the lure of the show. And that's why we all watch the show. And now everybody's acting like, oh my God, they made them do these challenges, which some of the challenges, I'm not going to say I agree with every challenge, but that's why we watched. We wanted to see the girls pushed to the limit and be, you know, doing all of these on top of ladders, hanging down, and, you know, all of these shows. We wanted to see that. So I'm sorry, I cannot get with the whole Tyra hate train. I just will not be able to do it. But moving on, have you guys hit the like button today? I know that this video will not get a lot of views because I'm not following the narrative that everybody is pandering to, okay? If I was to come on here and shit on Tyra and call her the most evilest person in the world, video would take off and it would be out of there. You know what I mean? So I already don't expect this video to do a lot, but I still wanted to give my opinion on it. The same opinion that I had this morning, the same opinion that I had yesterday, the day before that. Oh, and I wanted to show y'all my so this was me talking to people. 11 hours ago, okay? Before, you know, because again, they try to say that, oh, a certain creator has said something, so now my opinion, no. 11 hours ago, this was my comment on the neighborhood talk. And this is where I was going back and forth with people. Let me pull this up. And this is no shade to any other creators, but the audiences be pissing me off. Always trying to, you know, put people against each other and all of that jazz. But anyways, so I made a comment on Eva talking. Hold on, wait. Let me pull this up for y'all. All right, so as you can see, this was a comment that I made on the neighborhood talk 11 hours ago, okay? 11 hours ago. I've been on live for an hour and 30 minutes, okay? You can go look at when my live started, other people's live started, and then calculate. Was it 11 hours ago? No, this was my opinion prior. So this is what I said on this post where Eva was talking out about her time on Top Model, etc. And this is what I said. I said everybody was not going to have the same experience, and every single girl was never going to be the winner. It was a lot of stuff that could have been handled differently, but all the accountability is not, and I meant to put all Tyra, no matter how much folks forced this hate train. Had the girl who cheated on her boyfriend not been on Top Model, would that same scenario be considered SA? So this is what I said on the neighborhood talk, and it got 20 replies with women who were upset, and they were like, oh my God, I like your content on YouTube, and I don't agree with you. And I kind of get irritated when people do that. They disagree with you, but they start off their disagreement with, well, usually I like your content, but, and it's like, I don't give a damn if you watch my content or not. That's how I feel. And they come off with this, I watch your content, so change your mind and think what I think type of disposition. And I'm sorry. That's why I'm at the amount of subscribers that I got. I'm not at 1 million because I don't give a fuck enough. and I should care more. You know, I definitely should care more. But who would I be if I don't have my opinion? You know? So let's go through some of the comments. So this person says, hey, Neek, love your content, but yes, it would still be SA if it didn't happen on television. I said, drinking alcohol does not make every sex act SA. She says, in general, if they are too impaired to freely give consent, you don't proceed. I said, where in the footage was she too impaired? I feel like when women don't want to be accountable, we start using SA words for everything. In my opinion, she regretted it because she was busted for cheating, but they both looked consensual based on what was shown. Now, if the raw footage shows different, then my mind will change. But from what I saw, she was an adult who turned up. They was in a hot tub vibing and into each other and did what grown-ups do. Being sober and now remembering, oh, wait, I have a boyfriend. I mean, I don't know. You know? This was my take 11 hours ago. Where that bitch at? And then somebody said, agreed. Another person says, I agree with this statement. And then this person says, Shandi herself said that she wasn't in the mental state to give consent. This person says, and she went from the hot tub to the shower to the bed with him willingly. That was not SA. It was more like she was embarrassed she cheated on her boyfriend willingly on TV. So then this person says, when it is with someone you have no intention on sleeping with in a sober state, it is SA. Now, I disagree with this statement wholeheartedly. So just because you've drank alcohol and you now want to sleep with somebody, and if you didn't drink alcohol, you wouldn't want to sleep with somebody, that is the determining factor on it being SA or not. I feel like that's crazy. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Call me a woman hater. He woman hater, whatever the fuck. Not a girl's girl. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I feel like if you are an adult and you choose to drink alcohol, you should, number one, if you're not drugged, if somebody did not drug you and you're not incoherent, because in the footage, she wasn't incoherent. She was talking, she was laughing, she was vibing, she was on his lap, she was making out. It wasn't a situation to where she was like, you know, what's that movie, Walking with Bernie, when they're making him walk and making him, you know, like, she wasn't like a puppet where they're like picking up her arm and open, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that type of situation. So again, I don't agree with that. So, they said when it is with someone you have no intention on sleeping with in a sober state, it is SA. If the person is sloppy drunk and can't control themselves, it is SA. He was on top of her while she was blacked out in the bed. You can see her movements were slow, and he took advantage of that. So yes, she was SA'd. And then they said, you say in your opinion instead of using facts over feelings. I said, easy way to avoid accountability. Sounds like, but yes, what I said was my opinion. You have yours. Toodles. Because that's Weekend at Bernie's, right? Yes, that's the show. But before I read some more, let me play this on why, you know, my comment was my comment, because this guy right here was saying that she was, you know, SA'd.
That in a photo shoot.
Horrible.
Do you think that the judges and the producers had a role in creating this type of environment, even if you never saw it?
Absolutely. That environment could not exist without producers aiding and abetting what was going on. Exactly. What I will say is I will never fail to thank Tyra.
Yeah.
What Tyra set out to do in this business, I will always say, and especially for Top Model, initially, she set out to change the world, to change what the modeling industry looked like, sound like, felt like, and expected.
Yeah,
and she did that for me.
Served as a launch pad.
I was gobsmacked. I was in awe. I told Jay my mouth was wide open. To be a part of a club and not know what's going on in the club is crazy.
What exactly was it troubling to you? Was it, when you say gobsmacked?
And what
gobsmacked
surprised you?
Can mean one can be great, or it could be something that, oh my God.
Amazingly horrifying.
Okay.
For the stories. I've lived my experience. I've walked in my shoes. And though there is a level of relatability, one would assume someone having walked in the same shoes, I had no idea. Like, absolutely no idea. I have been asked about Tyra for 21 years.
Yeah.
No matter what project I'm doing, what I'm involved in, somehow Top Model finds its way in my interviews.
Because it's part of your resume, part of your life.
It is. It's absolutely a part of my life. But I didn't understand why it was such a topic every time I interviewed with someone.
You say you were in awe when you watched it because you didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, but it details many controversial moments, from the alleged sexual assault that happened to eating disorders to models being put in blackface, or one model who...
All right, so that was kind of like what got the conversation going, where he was basically saying that the girl was SA'd. And, you know, I don't agree with that. Dead Kirby says, some issues I have with Tyra, I have with Natalie Nunn. The buck has to stop somewhere. Love the show. Yeah, I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I don't feel like you have to think like me. People think that she's the villain of all villains, and you're entitled to that. I just don't agree. I don't think that Tyra is anywhere near a Natalie Nunn. But, you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. All right. Okay, so Then this person comes and they says, hey, Neek, the girl had 2 bottles of wine on an empty stomach. So we can all infer that she was drunk. Also, keep in mind, the producers are going to protect their ass from any potential lawsuits. So, of course, they're going to edit the footage and make it look like she was coherent when she wasn't. Drunk people cannot consent because alcohol impairs your judgment. End of story. And she says, no one is saying drinking alcohol makes every S-act S-A. We're saying if someone is drunk, they cannot consent. I said, so every girl who has sex after drinking alcohol is an SA victim? I think that's ridiculous and is a way for women to avoid accountability. As I stated, if I saw different footage, my mind can change. Based on what I saw, it wasn't, and that's my opinion. End of story. So she goes on to say that I'm ignorant for not inferring that more happened that we didn't see. But I feel like it's ignorant to make up a scenario that you telling me I'm ignorant because, yeah, the judges obviously protected themselves and they made it look coherent. But you're not ignorant for making up a scenario that you don't even see? That's not ignorant? You know, she says, I'm also going to reiterate, if producers know they're in the wrong, they will do everything they can to take responsibility off themselves. Hence why they come pushing the cheating narrative. She said, hence why they come pushing the cheating narrative so she can't come back with a lawsuit against them. I watch your content. You are very smart, but what you're saying is coming off very ignorant. I said, was her cheating a lie? Did she not have a boyfriend? I don't give a damn how I sound or what I meant to put, what content you've watched. I stand on what I said. Because people have this condescending way of saying, you know, oh, usually you're smart, but you're stupid right now. You know, they have this condescending way of like disagreeing with you, but they want to call you ignorant, talking about, oh, they want to push this cheating narrative. She did cheat. She did have a boyfriend. Are we acting like she didn't actually, like, what are we talking about? What narrative? She did cheat on her boyfriend. She was in a relationship. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what? I said, was her cheating a lie? Did she not have a boyfriend? I don't give a damn how I sound or what content you've watched. I stand on what I said. To me, she was embarrassed she got busted for cheating. So until I see different footage, then like I said, my feelings may change. You making up what you think might be in the footage. You ain't even see. So to me, that's ignorant. I can only go on what I saw. Until then, I don't know, you know. My feelings is my feelings. You know what I'm saying? You can, like, you know, but I understand that, you know, everybody's not going to agree. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And then this woman, women like you are insufferable. She took accountability for drinking, but you women that love siding with whatever, ever see the fault in what they do. He should have never done it, but that's not your focus. And I'm like, she should have never done it either. Like, but I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. We got other content to do, but I just wanted to make sure to do a video. I'm definitely gonna do McNutt. I'm going to do McNutt. Somebody said the producers should have stopped them. I'm 50-50 on that. A part of me feels like it wasn't a hookup show, so maybe. But a part of me also feels like she's grown. She's a grown woman. and she was coherent. And, you know, they were trying to capture the essence of the same vibe of Real World. So, but let me, do any of y'all want to come up on the StreamYard, or should we end the stream there? Y'all let me know. I could drop the link for the StreamYard if y'all want to come up. If not, if y'all like, girl, we don't agree with you, we don't care, we can move on, and I will, you know, talk about other stuff at another live. But it's been so long since I did a video, and honestly, I feel like my page is shadow banned. So on the stuff that is like real topics that I care about, like that I really want to put in effort in, I'm gonna have to like record and upload, like do uploads. A lot of people keep saying that Tyra took no accountability. What accountability did Manuel take? What accountability did Miss J take? Paris Morgan says, I don't know. Hooking up with strangers off the street is different than strangers in the house. Did you watch Jersey Shore? They used to bring girls back from the bar and hook up with people that were strangers all the time. They used to bring girls back. They would go out on Jersey Shore. They would go out to the club. They would do their Jim Chan laundry. They would go out to the club. They would bring girls back to the house and they would hook up. That's how some of the people became, like, you know, castmates or friends of the show. Like, that was like a part of all of the reality shows. I mean, yes. And Stevie said they were male models for the ghosties. You never watched Jersey Shore? They would go to the club. I remember. I used to be watching. They would go to the club and they would bring girls back from the bar. Yes. There was a couple, like, you know, cheating situations going on where I believe one of the times they went to the club and Sammy and Ronnie was together, and I remember, like, he was like flirting with a girl at the club. Like, a lot of the drama that happened on Jersey Shore was because they would go to the club, they would meet people, they would turn up, get drunk, get into it. That was a big component on the show. Yes, Stevie. Stevie, I want to drop the link. I want you to tell me what you think about it. Okay? Let me know what you think. But the I hate Tyra, Tyra's the evil witch of the West. I want y'all to tell me what y'all think too. Tyra could have owned it, but she couldn't do it. Neither any of them did. That's my problem with y'all. Y'all want Tyra to own it. Janice Dickinson ain't never owned it. Manuel was on the documentary. He didn't own it. Miss J said awful things to the girls. Miss J did not own it. They all put the blame on Tyra like they were not a part of the shit. None of them owned it. None of them had accountability. None of them had accountability. None of them did. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the hate train for Tyra, I just feel like it is performative. I feel like it's so performative because the same hate train that y'all have for Tyra, you guys are doing these kissy faces to Jay and all of these other people who played a part in it. Jay didn't lie. Like, child, we definitely, okay, you said you'll click the link. We definitely watch different shows, child. Because accountability where? Like, you guys want all of this accountability from Tyra that y'all did not require from anybody else. You did not require none of this accountability from anybody else. And that's the part that gets me. Hold on. Anybody else. Hold on. Janice gets 0 smoke, 0 mentions, but you know. Child. You know. They were all mean. And we all ate it up. We all was living for it because some of us felt the same way about some of the shit too. Some of us was looking at some of them girls like, girl, this is not giving, or girl, we don't see it for you. Y'all felt the same way about some of those criticisms, but now everybody want to sit on a high and mighty horse of this. Oh my God, look at what they did to the girls. They gave them criticism. Oh my God, like, shut the fake motherfuckers. Tommy, hello?
Neek. I gotta disagree. I have to.
I mean,
Tyra was wrong. My issue with Tyra is that she's just fake. She just couldn't own it. She always had to make excuses like, oh, I didn't know about that. I didn't see that. Like, come on now.
So Miss J and J Manuel.
I never said that they were innocent. They all have to own what they did.
But what I'm saying
is with Tyra, specifically with Tyra, is that she just kept making excuse after excuse, and she just keeps downplaying what she did. Like with Tiffany, there was more that was said. It was so bad that the lawyers had to come in the next day. My issue with Tyra is that she is the villain that she tried to make Naomi Campbell to be. I believe that. She'll stab you right in the back while Naomi will stab you right in the front. Like, let's keep it real.
So you don't feel like the read of Tiffany was warranted?
No, it wasn't. All Tiffany was just trying to do was just to keep her composure and try to keep her head up.
She wasn't not trying to keep her head up. She was not even making an effort.
So what you're saying is that you wanted to see Tiffany break down after she was eliminated?
No, I wanted her to make an effort after being a thug the prior season and throwing shit at the bar, and they brought her back. And so I wanted her to like make an effort when she came back. She didn't make an effort.
Okay, but Tyra had to tell Tiffany about her son and sleeping on the floor. Like, that was not necessary.
We all live for that TV moment.
We didn't even get to see it though. That's what I'm saying.
Lorenzo, what's your thoughts?
I actually grew up watching American Next talking about on UPN back in the day, like a long time ago, because y'all remember like back in the day, like a UPN was a struggling network for a time. I came on there and stuff. Yeah, and like, and the thing is, like, I remember like most of the stuff when as she aired on TV and stuff, like, yeah, because like, I agree, that Tyra she gets love, but Tyra she wasn't only producer on the show. The y'all must have forgot about like Kevin Ma. He was executive producer on the show as well. So like so when Tyra wasn't there, Kevin Ma was there and stuff. And then you gotta give out the person the head man of CBS at the time. Like he like approved what would air on TV and not air on TV. The head man of CBS. I forgot his name. He was married to the Asian lady that do Big Brother on that show. I think it was Jason Newman because he like controlled what would air and what not air on TV. So even though we could blame Tyler, we still got to blame like Kevin Mott and Headman CBS because Kevin, yeah, like he like everybody quiet on Kevin, but everybody got smoke for Tyra. So it was more than one producer on the show besides Tyra. Even though she was EP, we still had Kevin and Headman CBS.
All right.
At the time.
Paris.
Hey, thanks for bringing me up. I want to say I did enjoy the show, like as a show, like it was really good. But like what the documentary like did for me was it gave some of the like background tea, and it was just surprising, like the stories of how they set certain stuff up, like the shooting scene and stuff. Like they could have chose a different model, and it was just it's more. I think it's more of how Tyra was moving, and it's
but
not
it was
that
a show though. Like everybody, like was them picking the person's not best picture shady? Yeah, but am I gonna act like, oh my gosh, she's so horrible? They knew who they wanted to win. It was a show.
And that's where I think that's where the thing is. It's like it's not a real competition show then. Like these girls all think they have a chance, and then just even as like the people watching, we thinking like, okay, they ain't win a show.
But that's how it is in the real world. People always have their favorites of people who they like. Shit is never fair. Like life is not fair. Like
no, I get that, but what I'm saying was like it was a rigged show. It's like your point is like they already had their winner, but then it's like okay, that's cool. But so even the top 2 or 3, nobody else thought they was good enough to be a model. Like the information that came out, they said basically once like the who was it the one black winner, she was saying like when she went to the Wilhelmina house, she realized they was getting treated different because she was associated with American Next Top Model. So the point is like the girls who were actual models who made it, who had it
on reality, that is not just America's Next Top Model stigma. Anybody who participates in reality TV is not taken serious in the real world.
But
career.
This is the early 2000s. This is one of the first shows. This was the first show for models. So they didn't know that. The contestants don't know that though. You get what I'm saying?
That's
so
the
what I'm saying
for
is
every reality TV show though. Can you not recognize that every single like people? There are people who won Project Runway. We've never heard of them ever again.
Right, and I think that's crazy, and that's what I think that's what people are saying. It's not necessarily that it's necessarily right or wrong, but it's like, well, that's the reality of it. Surprise, you don't know until you're in it. Because if you're a fan of the show and you do whatever you got to do to get on the show, you're thinking you're going to get some type of recognition. You're thinking you're going to get some type of work. Like, for example, Eva, she was the winner of season 3. Nobody else has any recognition like Eva. And Eva, like I said, I know her from us, like the urban spaces. Like, we adopted her. I don't know her from modeling. Like, on the live show, you said CoverGirl. Yeah, CoverGirl was part of the contract. Outside of CoverGirl, what else did she do? And that's not being funny saying she didn't do nothing, but I don't remember her in campaigns and magazines. I remember her from the urban community adopting her and putting her on stuff because it was a reality. She turned into a video vixen to a certain extent. Like, that's what I mean by popularity. Like, the black people took her, but even like I said, the white contestants Like you said, what did they do? And it's like, that's kind of weird if this is a modeling show and I'm about to become a model. Like, even like the girl who, Danny, the one, I don't know, she got tattoos on her face and stuff now, but she was already a model, so she had aspirations. But once she got on there, it was like, no now. Like, that's crazy. If you would have never went on the show, she might have went further.
If
So,
she
you know
would
what
have
I'm saying?
never
The
went on the
show's supposed
show,
to,
she probably would have still been working at fucking blow schmo, whatever job she had. Like,
but she said she was a model already. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I just used her for an example because it was certain girls who was saying they were models. So they went on American Next Top Model to further their career. But the reality is they probably could have went further without American Next Top Model. Like, you get what I'm saying? They have a stigma
life
of being a
is
reality
not
star when they want to
gonna
be a model. They
always
don't
work.
want to be a reality star.
Life is not always
The benefit of being on American Top Model is to get noticed, right? So that's the reason why they were going there.
But no, that's not, you want to be a model. That's what I'm saying. There's famous and there's infamous. You could be infamous, but that don't mean you're known for what you want to be known for. You get what I'm saying? So yes, their face is recognizable now, but now that your face is recognizable, now I'm saying, oh yeah, you're her. I don't want you. You're not getting a chance. You can't come over here because you're gonna taint this. They're gonna think we're just using TV reality star. They gonna think this isn't real. Like, dang, for real. Like, now I can't walk in these shows. I can't grow my platform. I can't. And then they even said on there they couldn't even use none of the pictures from American Next Top Model. And I'm like, that's crazy. You can't even use your work.
That's their franchise. They take their work and take it somewhere else. They can't do that.
Because you're a model. That's what it's supposed to be. You're building. That's what they told them they were doing. They were building portfolios. What do you know what a portfolio is?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like,
know
how
portfolio.
you want, but no, I'm not trying to be funny, but if you telling me this is what it is and the reality is that's not what it is, and you know that's not what it is, it's a difference if I gave you a promise and it didn't work out how I thought it was going to work out. I knew it wasn't
Exactly.
going to work out for you. I knew that from the jump. That's why it's a scam. It's like, dang, if that's the case, why not just get actresses and models who just, I mean, not actresses and models, but people who want to just be famous in general. They don't necessarily want to be actual models. They're not trying to walk the runway.
It will a lot of people that audition on the show like they should be just be reality TV star because at the end of the day it is reality TV. At the end of the day,
but it wasn't reality TV. Wasn't a thing then. That's what y'all got to realize.
reality
At the time,
TV
this is the
was
beginning.
a thing then. What are you talking about? Real World,
Like-
Road
like,
Rules,
yeah,
all
'cause
of
like-
Them
those
is all
shows
in
were
the same
staples.
years, though, is what I'm saying, though.
America's Next Top Model
They
came
all
from
started
American
at the
Idol
same
and the Real
time.
World.
So you didn't know what it was going to give after that. They was
Okay,
all.
but so
they
what
was
do you
all
feel
in the
about
first
American
race.
Idol that came before America's Next Top Model?
And a lot of them are Saudi too because they didn't get picked
That
up.
there,
And I'm like,
everybody's
that's
not gonna
crazy.
make it. Everybody's not gonna be a
Exactly.
famous singer. Everybody who has a talent, who can sing, who can model,
It's not.
everybody's
it's
not
a
gonna be
everybody
that
thing.
guy.
It's a
You're not that guy,
percentage
pal. I'm
thing.
sorry. Everybody's not
It's
gonna
a
be
per-
that guy.
It's a percentage thing, though. And then
Right.
the
What
difference-
percentage
hold
of the
on, though.
people
The
that
difference
went on
between-
American Idol are famous?
But the difference between American's Next Top Model and
There is no
that's a
difference
music
now.
show, that's genre. So the difference is
What do you say
the
about
people who are hiring you and want to listen to you is not the same as
The same
Some of them, they
criteria,
just-
different show. They're going to be famous for.
but those are different careers.
It
Y'all
doesn't
talking
matter.
about fame.
One is a career for a singer, and one is a career for a model. They all
But having
who go
fame
on
and having
America's
work are
Next
two
Top
different
Model,
things.
their goal is to be the biggest singer in the world. That is what they audition for. Everybody's not going to be the biggest singer in the world. Ruben Studdard did not win. I think, if from my memory, Ruben Studdard was a big star from America's Next Top Model. Fantasia was a big star. Jennifer Hudson was a big star. She
Yeah.
was not the winner.
Fantasia,
It's
yeah, a lot
about
of people.
you and what you
But
put
then,
in.
but how you naming those people for American Idols? You cannot name them for American Next Top Model. That's
Yes,
my
Yaya
point.
DaCosta, Winnie Harlow.
Mercedes on Psycho 2. She didn't win. She became famous. You remember Mercedes on Psycho 2?
Where is she now?
She did a lot of stuff in the past. I don't know where she at now, but
that's
she did
my
stuff.
point. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
Kelly Clarkson. Right.
do y'all remember like Yaya?
I'm not saying you shouldn't be grateful for an opportunity, but if the opportunity don't get you what was promised,
successful actress. Yaya from season 3.
Season 3. Where's she
Yeah,
at?
Yaya. Yeah, I remember Yaya, but because her Eva was the top 2 of that season, because everybody was going for Yaya or Eva, but
Well,
either
Yaya,
way, we was happy whoever won the show because we seen 2 black women as the top 2.
There's a lot of people that didn't win on the show and still became famous and still known to this day.
Yeah. Yeah, so
but I don't fully
But the
agree
people
with that
that won
because
didn't
then
get
it
what
would
they
be
were
more
promised.
But so okay, my thing is this. Okay, hold on, wait.
Promise.
So look though,
Win.
it's 2026. We got all these Instagrams and stuff, right? Why ain't they speaking up for Tyra? Why ain't they speaking up on their behalf? Because it ain't nothing for them to speak up on. They just not gonna say nothing. It ain't they place. If something negative didn't happen to them, oh well. It's like just because if I see somebody getting hurt, if I see somebody getting jumped, if I don't know them, I'm gonna keep it pushing. But that don't mean I ain't see that person getting jumped. That don't mean it didn't happen just because it didn't happen to me. Like, what is we talking about?
You have to understand the people that was on
what you're saying, like, but
outside of Eva, who is also coming to Tyra's defense, being like, "No, this documentary crazy. It wasn't really like that." Like, I'm talking about. So, like I said, it was 25 cycles. So 25 times what? 14. They start off. How many? You know what I'm saying? We can do the math.
Why do people have to speak up for Tyra? Tyra's grown. She can speak up for herself.
No, I'm not saying speak up for her in her defense, but just it's the franchise. That's a part of your name, your resume to be like, no, that's
it's
not how it is. And like you said, people want clout and fame. This is the way to get
it. Have spoke of had positive experience from the show, but they weren't asked to come.
There's a lot of models in
that show. Documentary. They're like over 1,000 people that was on that show, like 20 sides. That's like a lot of people. So like it's whoever who welcome to come to speak their side, like that's who that want to speak their side. But in the day, it was like 21 cycles, over 1 million people was on that show. So it's
it wasn't over 1 million people. The numbers ain't that big. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not as ambiguous as they trying to make it seem. Like you said, with the essay situation. We really can't speak on it because we wasn't there. But what we do know is that it was edited. We know we didn't see the raw footage. So all we can do is be like, dang, that's crazy.
I feel lovely true red. She said the opportunity was to win a competition. There was only one winner and fame wasn't promised. A winner and opportunity was the winner's award. That's it. Period. And
no, it wasn't. It was a head start in the modeling competition.
And it was up to that model to navigate that. It was up to that model. Everybody, even the winner, everybody was not going to make it. It's up to you.
No. I'm specifically talking about the winner. For example, Adrienne from Cycle 1. She didn't get none of the prizes.
How many of those 25 winners did anything outside of anything? Let's talk the winners, not even the contestants. It's 20.
Hold on, let me bring y'all down because Stevie, you gotta cut it off in the back. Let me bring y'all off and I will bring y'all back up. So what I was saying, because y'all keep trying to overtalk me, everybody was not going to win. And everybody was not going to be a superstar. Everything is not for everybody. I'm a person who dabbled in modeling. I talked about me getting into modeling, but the people who make it the furthest in modeling are the bitches that are super phony and fake. The industry is a very phony, fake industry. Stevie, you are echoing. I'm gonna bring you down too, because it's echoing a lot. In most of the industry, the entertainment industry, the people who make it the furthest are the people who are the fakest. The industry is a fake industry. So if you are a real bitch, or you are somebody that doesn't really vibe with that, it's not gonna resonate with you. Everything is not for everybody. Like, it was a point in time to where it was certain stuff I just wasn't gonna do, because I'm not about to kiss your ass for an opportunity. I'm not about to fuck you for an opportunity. So if I'm not gonna get the opportunity, it just is what it is. I'm gonna get what's for me, and I pivoted and I changed direction. There's some people who modeling was not gonna be for them, no matter how pretty they were. It just, everything was not going to work out for everybody. Everybody was not gonna be the superstar. Out of 24 cycles, you think that there was gonna be 24 global superstars? Everybody does not have the it factor. Everybody does not have the charisma. And just because Tyra, Nigel, Jay, or the producers felt like this was a good girl to win, that doesn't mean that when they got in the real world of the industry, because let's be honest, Tyra tried to change the industry in representation, and she put Asian girls, Black girls, Hispanic girls, Latino girls. When they won, just because Tyra wanted to give them representation does not mean when they went into this very anti-Black, anti-minority modeling industry that they were gonna make it. The industry was very whitewashed. The industry had, if you looked at Victoria's Secret fashion shows back then, you probably seen one Black girl in the whole show. And if you saw a Black girl, if it wasn't Tyra, it was a girl that was white passing and looked damn near white. Everybody was not, that just was not the industry standard. They were not going to all make it. To think that everybody was going to get this global superstardom is disingenuous and unrealistic. And I feel like people are just babbling internet narratives that they're forcing this pile on. I feel like it's unrealistic and ridiculous. But I'll bring you guys back up and you can respond, but I just feel like it's bogus.
I just want to say something real quick, but I think that's the thing. Like, if Tyra would have been honest with them, like, look, after y'all win this, in the background, it's gonna be hard.
She did tell them that it was hard. The whole premise of the show was to show that the industry was hard.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, those girls wouldn't have been so surprised about it if she was being real with them off camera. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think they really expected a mentorship from her at minimum.
That's not realistic. If you think that she is operating a TV show, she is also a supermodel herself, trying to brand and act herself, and you think that she was going to be able to baby 12 girls per season, they're doing 2 seasons in 1 year. Not
no,
one
I'm
season.
I'm not saying baby the whole group, but
you
the
want
winners,
her to hold everybody's hand and coddle them. That's
the winners,
not
I would have thought that. Yeah, ain't that why I'm winning?
That's
ain't that what I'm competing
realistic.
for? Your expertise.
The promise was for them to sign with an agency. The agency that they signed with was who they were going to go and land their career with. Tyra never promised them that she was going to coddle them if they won. That's not realistic. That's crazy.
I feel you. I feel it.
The contract was $100,000 with Wilhelmina, or $100,000 with CoverGirl. It wasn't $100,000 and Tyra is gonna be your model babysitter. That wasn't the contract. That was never promised to them. Like,
I ain't trying to be combative, but I'm just saying I can see how you getting 20-year-olds selling them a dream and only giving them a little bit of information, not telling them the whole picture, and you know the whole picture.
How they didn't tell them the whole information. The whole reason why we watched the show was to see how tough the modeling industry was. They emphasized that so much on the show that
no, I get that for the entertainment
you're gonna go on go-sees.
aspect.
You're gonna see a lot of no's. I would hear Tyra tell the girls. I watched the show. Tyra would tell the girls, you're not gonna book every go-see you see. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna get a lot of no's. She told them that.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is, think about it. Like you said, let's use Eva for example. Purposely a black girl who's short. In reality, in industry, you're not getting picked just based off your height. So she's already picking people who she knows going to get no's. So that's what I'm saying. You setting somebody up for something you know that's not achievable. Like, that's crazy to me. It's you're selling delusion.
How? It's up
That's
to the
all I'm
person.
saying.
Everybody has you know the saying, everybody got the same 24 hours in a day? How?
Yeah.
Like, it's up to the individual. It's
everybody
up to
got the
you.
same 24 in a day, but everybody ain't got the same limbs. Everybody, there's variations to that. That's it. It's variations. Like when you do experiments and you have to repeat them, you have to pay attention to those variations. What makes these things different? What makes this thing work?
So
Like
do
she
you
knows
think
what.
so you honestly thought, looking at the show, that everybody was gonna be a superstar? Like, you honestly thought
That's not what I'm saying either. I'm letting you say that because this is your show, but I didn't say that. That's not the point I'm saying either. What I'm saying is she sold the illusion of grandeur,
How did
which
she
she
sell
knew.
that when it was always only
She
gonna
knew
be
how hard
one
it was
winner?
for her. So she knew dang well that they wasn't about to come up and be next to her. Like, she knew that. So to sell a dream and you know that dream is a far-fetched reality is crazy. Is a little crazy. Just a little
I
bit.
think your outlook is a little crazy, to be honest.
It may be. I can agree to that, but it's a spectrum. We all on this world together.
Somebody said she's saying she wished Tyra told them behind the scene. Meanwhile, she told them during filming and was serious. Right, Julius. Exactly. Tyra would tell them every episode how tough the industry is, how unforgiving they are, how you gotta, operate and put, like, she said it to them. Like, I don't think that Paris actually watched the show, to be honest. I think that Paris, I don't know.
I was in middle school. What the hell?
Did you watch the show?
Yeah, middle school, but I don't have the brain I have then that I had now.
I don't think you actually watched. I think when you were in middle school, you probably seen an episode here or there, and now you're probably, and this is just me guessing, now you're watching the documentary and then you're just going off of everything that's in the documentary.
I was born in 93, so that's what I'm saying. This show came out in the early 2000s in middle school, so I'm watching it as a TV show. Like you said, yes, at that time, I'm probably really thinking they're all going to be big models. We're going to see their names on billboards and stuff. And I feel like the girls who was on the show, they had the same mindsets. Like you said, it's production. They know what they doing. They even showed, like, okay, the show was going one way, but then they even showed once she got to UPN and they saw the show was a hit, a lot of her creative control went out. She started to really become just a face of the model, a face of the show. But that's what I'm saying. So it wasn't full transparency, and I'm not expecting it to be, because now that I'm grown.
You think that the documentary that you saw was full transparency? You think that you know everything about Antim from those 3 episodes?
No, not at all. But what I'm saying is, it's not far-fetched to see how the contestants was blindsided. I don't see how that far-fetched
was one-sided. The documentary that you saw, there's no success stories, right? According to that documentary, nobody was successful.
No, I didn't say that.
But I'm saying, if we're taking everything that the documentary says for face value, there was nobody that was successful, everybody was sold a dream, and nobody made it, right? If we're going off of the documentary.
I mean, I don't know none of them girls outside of Eva, so yeah.
Winnie Harlow?
I only know her because of Rihanna. And to be honest, I didn't know she came off American Next Top Model. Out of them,
because you didn't watch the show. Like,
they went to 25 seasons. Eventually, I was outside.
That's my whole point. It is up to the individual. You get the exposure, and it is what you do with it.
So who did good with that exposure besides those two? Besides Eva and Winnie, who else can we name? Can you name? I mean, but what did she do? Like, what's her, like, can you jump on Google real quick and show up their pictures?
You don't know who Yaya is.
I know her face.
You don't know who Yaya is.
But I don't know her to be associated with no brand. You get what I'm trying to say? Like,
you didn't watch the show, dog. There's no way that you can convince me that you watched. You didn't.
No, I'm asking, can you give me proof? Can you show me?
She became a successful actress. What are you talking about? She was a successful model in all kind of fashion shows. She was in all of the major runways in New York Fashion Week, and then she became an actress. What are you talking about?
Okay, that's 3 out of 25. Can we keep going?
Like Takara?
what did Takara do after we adopted her?
God, I can't. This is crazy.
So when people ask for proof, I'm not saying you're wrong. Why can't you?
I shouldn't even have to tell you. Takara should just be like. It should just be like, okay, cool, okay, Takara.
But I'm saying,
you know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't have to educate you on all of these girls.
Why is that? Asking to see the models, the campaigns these models was on is crazy. Okay. Yes. Like outside of the black ones, we gonna know because they was on the black shows that we watch. I wasn't, that we came towards the internet, so we wasn't watching magazines like that. So I can't picture them in magazines. I can't picture them on billboards. I'm not in a city with a bunch of billboards. So that's what I'm saying is I'm asking genuinely, but then you get frustrated. My thing.
I can tell that you didn't watch the show. And you watch the documentary and you're taking everything the documentary that was very one-sided as Bible. There were several girls.
I'm not taking it as Bible. I'm just saying I don't believe that
successful.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm asking, can you show me? That's two different things.
I'm not doing the research for you, babe. Like there is.
We on your show. It's not just for me, but that was it. I wasn't trying to be combative. I was just like, can you show me some stuff? I wasn't saying it because, like you said, I don't know. So show me.
Look up Yaya DaCosta. I shouldn't even have to like. I like if you actually watch the show. I feel like I shouldn't have to educate you if you actually watched it. You get what I'm saying?
But that's my thing. Even if you didn't watch the show, it's the modeling world, though. Shouldn't their names be just because they're models?
What are you talking about?
Shouldn't you know them for their modeling? Like American Next Top Model, that's only one ticket on their resume.
Modeling is not the only pivot that people do. When you go to college, do you only do the thing that you signed up for? Like when you go to college and you say, you know what, I want to major in biology, and then you end up becoming a lawyer. People pivot just because they started off with a platform on America's Next Top Model doesn't mean that they have to solely be a model. They use the platform for exposure, for recognition, to platform themselves and branch off and be successful. They don't have to be successful from just modeling.
I hear that point. Okay. I was arguing on the model point. So if we taking it off modeling, like, then all of them I can't say nothing.
We can't assume that all of them wanted to be models.
Now, see, that's where we definitely differ, because I'm thinking if you go on a model show, you want to be a model.
But what I'm saying is, at the time, they could have wanted to be a model when they went on the show. But once you go on them go-sees, you're constantly being told no. Everybody's not built for that. So some people will pivot to things that are not so rejection based. I'm not saying that they never wanted to be a model, but what I'm saying is if you think just because a person signed up for a show and they wanted to be a model on America's Next Top Model, if you think that means that they always want to be a model and they always want to do it, that's not correct. At one point in time, I wanted to be a model. There were certain things I'm not doing. I'm not fucking. I'm not kissing nobody's ass. This ain't for me. I pivoted. I changed. I moved course. People change directions. To think that because somebody wanted to be a model or they were on the show that they always have to only be a model and that's the only thing that they can be successful in, I feel like that's crazy.
I don't think that's what I was saying, but I feel you. But thank you for having me up here. I'm going to give y'all other people a chance to talk, and I'll keep listening from the audience.
Yeah, no, I welcome you to come on. I like to debate, so you don't have to click off, but Lorenzo,
no, yeah, I just want to give other people a chance to talk. I don't want to keep talking over. I feel like I'm just talking too much.
Okay, if there's anybody else who wants to chime in, y'all can. But I just wanted to belabor that point because I see a lot of people saying like, oh, everybody wasn't successful. Everybody wasn't meant to be success. Everybody was never going to be. Everybody don't got the it factor. Like everybody, like some people get babies. You guys are discounting the fact that, some girls like even the girl, what's her name? Shandi. She ain't giving it up like model material right now. She wasn't attractive back then, but she's not attractive now either. Some people get in relationships. Some people get married. Some people have babies. everybody's goals are not the same all the time. Like, that is not on Tyra. I just feel like people are unfairly putting everything on Tyra, but they don't have the same smoke for all the other reality shows. A lot of people were like, oh my God, that's so jacked up that when they got eliminated, they couldn't leave. That is every competition show. That is the standard now. Mr. Beast has a show out right now, and it's Beast Games. When the people get eliminated, they cannot go home until the show wraps because they don't want leaks on who the winner is. So they keep them within the show. Project Runway, when people get eliminated, they cannot go home until a certain point in the show because they don't want to ruin who the winner is. On Survivor, on all of these shows, you cannot go home until the actual winner. So again, people are like, oh my God, Tyra is so jacked up. Like, y'all are putting this unfair standard on Tyra that is just so crazy to me. Like, it's so like unrealistic to me. And this is what is the standard on all of these shows. Somebody says same with Bachelor. Right, like, I don't watch The Bachelor, but all of these competition shows, you cannot go home until the winner. So, Tommy or Stevie J, is there anything that y'all wanted to chime in? Anybody else? If not,
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said America's Drag Race.
Okay, all I just want to say is that if Nigel and the Jays, if they want to blame Tyra, then Tyra should be able to blame the executives. I agree that this was all group effort, and I think all Tyra had to say is that I was insensitive, and yes, I could have made better choices, but I was just so focused on trying to get the ratings and trying to please the executives, and that I wasn't paying attention to anyone. I was just focusing on trying to protect, or not protect, but just trying to keep my show going. And I think that would have went well. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
I mean, thank you, Tommy. Stevie, there's an echo. I think you got me playing in the back.
I'm on my tablet, so if it's an echo, I'll just get off.
Go ahead, speak if you want to speak. I'll just mute myself.
Well, I would just say that Tyra did help these ladies out. Even after the show, she brought her, remember her talk show, the Tyra Banks show? She brought all the contestants back on her show, and they got exposure from that even. So she did help them. She sticked around in their lives for as long as she could. But like you said, she ain't going to coddle them, and everybody's not going to be on her level, and everybody's not going to make it. But I don't think she should get all the blame. Did she do some wrong stuff on the show? Yes, I agree she did. But I don't think she should get all the blame. She helped these girls. Some of the girls would never had magazine covers or photo shoots on billboards and walk in some amazing runway shows. So I think she helped them. And if it was up to them to make it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things in the industry that still need to be changed. There's a lot of colorism still to this day. There's a lot of things that,
I can't hear you, so I'm gonna drop off.
Okay, my bad. I accidentally muted it.
Okay.
But I'm gonna mute you though. All right. So, I mean, there's still things to this day that can be improved in the industry. I think that, the Me Too movement made a lot of strides to change the casting couch, as you will. And I think now more so is based on talent more so than just like sleeping your way to the top. There was a lot of like, oh, you got to sleep with this person or that person. When I was coming up, that was like the climate or whatever. And if you wasn't hunching and bunching, a lot of girls wasn't making it. And I was one of those girls that just was not willing to compromise my cootie cat for to be able to dance in a music video or to be able to be casted in something. So a lot of these, like the King magazines and the, you know, like the urban magazines, there was some kind of, you know, stuff happening, you know, in between some of that stuff. So everybody is in control of their own destiny, and life is not going to be fair for all. I think that when it comes to modeling and being in certain spaces, there is looks that the industry gravitates to more than others. If you have a more ambiguous look, if you're more you know, if you have more European features, it's either the black women have to have extreme African features, like extreme, like they look like they come, you know, straight from Africa, or they have to have some type of Eurocentric look. It's like either or in the industry. And that's still today. Like a lot of the big time models, they either look extremely Afrocentric or they have a European-esque ambiguous look. And that's kind of what it gives. And it's not right, but that's kind of the climate. And I think that as we get more aware of the biases in the industry, we get more aware of the colorism or the you know, the way that things are, and more representation happens, I feel like speaking out, things do improve over time. But to have this woke lens in 2026 and apply that to a show in the early 2000s and expect everything that is acceptable or unacceptable today to have that same lens as yesteryear, I feel like that's ridiculous. So that's my thoughts on that. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time on the next video. Bye. Oh, and let me know which topic y'all want me to do. I know y'all want me to do the TD McNutt. I know that there was like people wanted me to do the story of that little girl that went missing in Alabama, and people wanted me to do, there's several stories that people wanted me to do. I'm about to get back to pumping out videos. Sorry for my absence. After my birthday, I just kind of had like, I don't know, every year sometimes as I'm getting older, you know, you kind of get that, damn, I'm another year older. Where am I at in life? What have I achieved? Where am I at? Da, da, da. And, you know, I was kind of feeling a little blah for a couple of weeks, but now we're back at it. I'm about to get back in the groove of pumping out videos. I'm definitely going to do the McNutt video, but I'm going to do an upload for that one. I know a lot of people want me to do that video, but you know, my lives are shadow banned. So my lives are not, thank you, Paris. My lives are shadow banned, so they're not getting the views that they're supposed to be getting. And so I'm gonna, like, for the videos that actually, like, that people actually want to see, I'm gonna pre-record and do uploads for those. So be on the lookout for that. Other than the McNutt, what else? I started juicing. I talked about this in my other video, but my mom bought me a juicer for my birthday, and I've been juicing. So I'm trying to get my skin to be as glowy, as popping as possible. Right now, you know, this is the help of makeup. You know, help of a little makeup. But without the makeup, I want my skin to be like super duper like glowy. Okay, so that's what I'm working on. I'll talk to y'all on the next video. And, you know, it's an acquired taste over here. Like I said, I already know that this video is not going to get crazy views. I'm not on the Tyra hate train. So whenever it's not like popular opinion, my video is not going to do well. I don't expect this to do well. But I just wanted to make sure to give my thoughts on the matter, being that this is how I feel. You know, people are going to be mad. People are going to want to unfollow. It is what it is. Hey. This is, can we get a Tyrone Davis follow-up? Has there been any arrest? If there hasn't been any arrest, then probably not.